from his studios in New York. It's time for Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. Here's your host, Dan Tortora.
Good evening and welcome here to a very special wake-up call with Dan Tortora. We're going to have a bunch of different guests here today that are benefiting the 50-50 5K run. That 50-50 5K run is going to be happening on Saturday, July 27th at Gilly Lake at 11 a.m. It's going to be benefiting not only West Genesee Wrestling, but also the Carol M. Baldwin Foundation. So we'll be helping out cancer, trying to fight and find an end to cancer, and at the same time helping out West Genesee Wrestling. So we appreciate everybody for being here today, and of course on video and on audio recording you are here listening in and watching as well. So the 5K fun run, we're going to start off talking with Brian McAvan, the head coach of the West Genesee Wrestling team. Brian, it's your first time on the show.
Yes, sir.
Happy to have you here. How you doing?
Good.
I like that, a man, a few words. Good, fine. So what do you think about this 50-50 5K benefiting, obviously, your wrestling team and at the same time benefiting a great foundation with Carol Baldwin?
I think it's a great idea to be involved in the community any way we can. You know, we're always looking for fun and innovative ways to raise money for the program and for our boys to have awareness of things going on in the community. Our fundraising guru, Heather McAvan, came up with the idea, and I thought it was great.
And when you have something like this, like, you know, to try and raise money for, you know, a sport that's obviously appreciated at West Genesee in the community, just what it means to you for that, to, you know, have somebody like Heather and have the whole team behind it, the Carol M. Baldwin Foundation, to get involved and really believe that this is something of value to the community, something that should be done. I mean, it's one thing to have an idea, but it's another thing to put it into fruition.
I agree, and that's why we actually have an alumni association, which Heather is a part of, and they do a lot for us behind the scenes, organizing things of this nature and getting involved with other people in the community.
And for you, I know we talked about it off the air, you're finishing up your third season at West Genesee as the wrestling head coach. Just what you could say about the wrestling team, your thoughts about being back at Jenny where you used to wrestle, and, you know, kind of that full circle.
Well, coaching at West Genesee is more than a job for me. It's personal. I take it personal. I take pride in the job, and I take pride in our kids, how hard they work and how tough they are on the mat. In 3 years I've been with the program, we've had multiple sectional place finishers, including 2 section champions, and we actually had Devin Earl take 6th in New York State this year, which is the first time in 14 years we had somebody place at the state tournament. So, you know, it's a credit to the boys. They're the hard work. I mean, you know, you make a practice plan and put together a schedule and do everything, but the kids, they have to go out there on the mat and produce. So they're the ones that are really doing the work, and I couldn't be more proud of how hard they work to earn what they are achieving season in and every season.
And once again, you know, for those watching, for those listening, and obviously for those here with us at the Wildcat Sports Pub, every single month we do something with West Genesee Athletics. It's a big thing for Danny and Heather Tome and the entire team here to bring it together, and we came up with an idea a couple of years ago. Obviously, it's called the Wildcat Sports Pub for a reason, but to have West Genesee here every single month, brought to you by Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and to be able to showcase teams and student athletes, alumni, and just the greater family of West Genesee. So this is your first time out here with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and just what you could say about, you know, what this community means to you, because I've gotten to see this community many different times. You know, whether it's basketball or lacrosse or hockey or wrestling and so on and so football. You know, there's the marching band. The West Genesee community is so supportive. It's huge, and they like to pack up the Wildcat. They like to come here after games. They like to obviously be here for events like this. And, you know, it's, I mean, in a snowstorm, we had the entire place with no seats available when one of the coaches had said, hey, stay at home. You don't have to come out for this, and everybody did. So just what you could say about the community of West Genesee that I've really gotten to know is a very loving and a very large community of support.
Well, like I said, you know, I went to school at West Genesee, and just I walked in here and I thought to myself, oh my gosh, I think I know everybody in here. So there are a lot of parents involved now in the program where I went to school with. I mean, there's people out playing cornhole I went to high school with. So, the local community does support this business and does support the programs at the high school. Like I said, we went there. Now our kids are going through, and we want to work hard and provide them the best opportunity we can.
And when you look at the opportunity that you're providing, what can you say about kind of how you coach, your motif, the way you go about being at the head of this West Genesee wrestling team?
Well, some people tell me I'm an old school coach. I don't really know what that means. But
I think it means you care and you have morals and values. I think that's what old school is a good thing now.
Oh, no, I think, the sport of wrestling requires so much. Practice is almost the easiest part. You have to go, you have to maintain your weight, you have to get your sleep, take care of your body. There's so much more to it than just going to practice. I mean, I was a football player. You'd go to football practice and then go to Burger King and eat 4 Whoppers as much as you can. And football practice is much easier. You go to a wrestling practice, you work your butt off for 2 hours, take a shower, have a half a glass of water and a pear, and go to bed. So, it's a very difficult sport. And then you do all that work, and you might wrestle a kid that, beats up on you, and you got to go back to practice the next day, keep your weight down because you got a tournament on Saturday. So, as far as the way I do things, I mean, the sport of wrestling is demanding. I mean, if I make practice easy, then we're not going to perform well. So, you're required to maintain your weight, work hard, be in shape, and practices reflect that. But what we've done on the mat has also reflected how hard these kids have worked.
And what can you say about, this year's group, this year's squad of West Genesee, just what you appreciate about the young men that you have now?
A lot of them are still wrestling. Man, the season's been over for a couple months. We had kids in tournaments this weekend. Stick with it. The one thing I say to a lot of our younger guys, we got a lot of young kids on our team right now that have been successful, which is great. But we also have a bunch of kids on our team that, our 10th graders are lower than 500, or they're 6-16, they're 8-8 with their records. Stick with it, because those kids that you're losing to are going to graduate, and then you're coming back. You go from a 6-16 season, the next year you're, 12-11, and then the next year you're 22-8. And that's how it goes. Mat time's important, and all that. Like I said, all that hard work is important. Every day is important.
Speaking here with Brian McAvan, before we wrap up here, this is the first piece that we have in speaking on the 50-55K. West Genesee Wrestling will be benefited 50%, and the Carol M. Baldwin Foundation the other 50%. Just, to kind of get back to that, what you're excited about on July 27th, and just kind of getting the community around that, getting people around this 50-55K, and knowing that it's 2 great causes and obviously something that can pay dividends for wrestling as you move forward.
Well, not only is it 2 great causes, but they're 2 local causes. I mean, the Baldwin family is involved in our program. Last year, Griffin Sasso graduated from West Genesee. He was a wrestler. He's in the Baldwin family. His mother, Jane, is here today. Their mother, Carol, is the one who was named after. So to have these 2 things connect, it just makes sense.
And I do want to do something that we always get to do, Coach. I told you about it. I kind of got you ready for it. And that's rapid fire, where I put you on the hot seat, but you get to put me on the hot seat. We're only going to do 2 questions apiece. So we'll go back and forth. I'll go first so you know what it feels like. If anybody could play you in a movie, who would play you in the movie and why?
John Candy.
Okay.
Good-looking guy.
Good-looking guy. Okay, fair enough. All right, go ahead. You got one for me. Go ahead.
How does it feel to be half as big as I am on the camera?
How does it feel to be half as big? I guess it feels okay. It feels good. So I did the Tony Stark goatee. I grew out the goatee, so I'm feeling good. My second question for you is, if you could have a speech bubble above your head that had a mission statement for you that anybody could see. So it's the one statement that would kind of describe you to anybody. You're walking around here, you're walking around Wegmans, you're over West Genesee. What would that bubble say?
Involve yourself in the society. Put your phone down, open your mouth, communicate.
I love that. Just having a conversation before this, with my mom about when you find people in the world today that are younger, because I'm not old by any stretch of imagination, but when you find somebody in like late 20s, mid 20s, 30s, anything like that, that actually speaks on the phone, doesn't text on the phone, has a conversation for more than 5 minutes on the phone, you got to give that person a big hug, because that's real life.
That's right.
And I value having a genuine conversation with somebody on what a phone was meant for, which wasn't taking pictures or texting or playing Angry Birds. It used to be for seeing how somebody was doing.
Yeah.
So I value that very much. I like that. What's your last one for me?
How much longer is this going to go on?
You're all set.
All right, thanks.
You're done, Coach. Brian McAvan, can we give him a round of applause? Can we show him a little bit of love here? You clap up for him a little bit here. Brian McAvan, it's your first time. You did well.
Oh, thanks.
You handled it very well, and you've started it off for everybody else. So we'll see if they can follow your lead. Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
This is a wake-up call. Fast break.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
All right, we are back here with this special West Genesee Wrestling and the Carol M. Baldwin Foundation, both being helped by the 50-55K run happening on July 27th. That is a Saturday at Gilly Lake in our community. And I am joined here with Heather McAvan on the side of West Genesee Wrestling, and then Jane Baldwin-Sasso on the side of the Carol M. Baldwin Foundation. So first and foremost, ladies, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Absolutely. And I'm going to start with you, Heather, about the West Genesee side of things and why do this for the wrestling community and just some of the things that we had spoken about as well.
Really, this all came about during an alumni meeting where Coach McAvan had kind of mentioned that this year he wanted to see...
Oh, you're good. Go ahead.
This year he wanted to see our wrestlers get a little bit more involved in the community and to find ways to give back. So I've kind of been leading the fundraising since last year. So during a ride to AIC for an official visit with my son, my husband and I were kind of brainstorming, came up with the idea. I immediately texted, and we kind of came up with the idea, like the 50-55K. I'll have to give credit to my husband. He came up with a name.
Yeah.
So that we can raise the money that we need for our program. There's a lot of things that we are in need of, warm-ups for our wrestlers. We need new mats. We like to pay the tournament fees and overnight stays for our wrestlers as well. So that stuff doesn't come cheap, and we want to make sure that all of our kids get the best opportunity for wrestling as possible. And then we also want to teach them how they can give back to the community and raise some more awareness and really learn what it means to give back.
And then Jane, on your side, obviously, Mom, the name, the Carol M. Baldwin Foundation, it's not just in our community, it stretches beyond that. This name has carried so much weight and so much respect. Just what you can say about, what it's meant for you to be a part of this foundation, what it means to you to be a part of this family.
Well, my mom is a breast cancer survivor. She was first diagnosed in 1991, and when she was recovering, she just thought to herself, I survived for a reason.
Yeah.
And it first initially started down at Stony Brook University Hospital, our original branch of the foundation. Started in 1996 on Long Island, where we're from, and then my sister moved up here, my mom moved up here, and I moved up here, and so in 2001, we said, well, we keep going back and forth to Long Island to raise funds. We really should have a chapter up here. So we opened the Carol and Baldwin Breast Cancer Research Fund of Central New York in 2001. And it's been, my mom's a tough cookie. She runs a tight ship. She kind of marches her sons around where she needs them to go and appear at fundraisers and what. She had Griffin do a fundraiser last weekend at OCC lacrosse. So she's even got the next generation raising funds for breast cancer, and it's been, we're really proud of it. We're doing great things. He just saw a woman at the event last week. It's really about touching lives. I mean, the money comes. It comes, you just keep raising and it comes, which is great. It sort of raises itself in some aspects with some of our events. Yeah. But Griffin got to see a mom from the opposing team come and break into tears and said, I'm a survivor since 2005. And she told us her story and tears in her eyes. And I said, Griffin, this is what these events are about. You're at the fair or you're at the walk run or wherever you are, and you really see the face of breast cancer, and it moves you. It really, really moves you. So, we're psyched. We love West Jenny Wrestling. It's one of our favorite teams in the world, of course. And so to pair that up with my mom's foundation, we just had a walk run, by the way, up at Syracuse University, ended 2 years ago because it just... logistically it was tough, so I'm so excited. I talked to my sister, I'm like, hey, we got another walk run, this is great. Because we had one. I always like stuff local. It's right here locally in Camillus. The one up at SU was difficult. It was, getting our people to go all the way to SU was not so easy. So I'm glad we have this event now, and as Griffin just reminded me himself that we've just given 68 $50,000 grants totaling $3.4 million to Upstate Hospital alone.
Wow.
Yeah, our downstate fund has done other raising, but...
Can we give a round of applause for that? Can you say that again?
We've given $68 $50,000. They come in either grants for researchers or in what's called an endowed lectureship, where we bring in researchers from around the world to share their breast cancer research with our people at Upstate. So we've done that 68 times for a total of $3.4 million to Upstate alone.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
absolutely
good.
amazing.
We're so proud of that.
That's a beautiful thing.
It is.
And mom is still trucking. She's
my God.
How old is mom now?
She's 89. She'll be
89.
90 in December. I know.
God bless her.
Kicking butts and taking numbers.
And she's spry.
She's sharp as a tack. She's not moving like she did, but we were just there for Easter and the boys were there, and she's ordering him to fix her remote, and like grandmas do, and all that good stuff.
But you obviously to have this. And, before we get back to wrestling here, on your side of it, I know you said you love West Jenny and you love the connection there, and obviously this community has been beautiful, but just what you could say about, Heather and the McAvan family and wanting to do something like this and getting together with the alumni and, this idea specifically, just, what makes you so excited about that and working, obviously, with good people that are willing to go the extra mile?
Well, I've been around wrestling my whole life, but we've been with this wrestling program since Griffin was in 8th grade, a lot in 9th. He wrestled varsity, so to speak, in 9th grade. And nothing against the program how it was before. It's always been a great program, but you saw a difference when Brian became the head coach about bringing in the Doug's Fish Fry. He wants to get the boys to get involved. It's not all about these alumni who love the program and then they fork over their money. These boys have to get up off their fannies and do it too, and then it means more to them. So I think it's great. I think they've been a very philanthropic-minded family. They have their golf tournament with their pub and everything. I've been following them with that. So they've always been a give-back family. We're just happy we're the recipients of it now for our Breast Cancer Foundation, which is great.
And Heather, just what you can say about and Baldwin Foundation and working with somebody like Jane and just the importance of this, the importance of bringing it all together and having a 50-50 5K where it is split, that we know it's going to two great causes equally.
Well, I will say that Jane has always been our biggest and loudest spectator at every West Genesee event.
Oh, yeah.
You will always know when she's there and when she's not. But as far as the Carol M. Baldwin Foundation goes, I think it's a really important cause to raise awareness of. We actually happen to have, I don't want to get a little teary-eyed, but a mom whose son wrestles for us, who is a breast cancer survivor. Her name is Krista Bennett, and she has been my right hand in, organizing this, and she wants to give back because of everything that the Carol M. Baldwin Foundation has done for her. So I think I just think it's really, it's great that, we're benefiting, alumni with Griffin, with a parent who's involved in the foundation, and we have a survivor on our team, so it's really important, I think, all the way around.
And to have that this community, as I had spoken about with Coach Brian McAvan, it's such a close knit. It's a very loving community, and for me, I said I didn't grow up here. One of my closest friends lived about 10 minutes from West Jenny. So I lived out in the Camillus area here, and I would always drive by, get off at the Hinsdale Road, go visit him all the time, and his family's still in the area. But it was driving by the school and, just kind of hearing about it and hearing different things about the school, but never really being around the community and getting to connect with the community. In the last couple of years from doing this with the Wildcat, it's being around parents and grandparents and brother and sister and aunt and uncle and the peers and the boosters and everybody, and it's a very special community here. And like I've told some of the coaches, like Fred Kent, I said, you kind of made me an honorary Wildcat because of spending all this time. And it's something to be said about when you go to these games and you see these teams, and and the players remember who shows up, and the coaches remember who shows up, and they remember who's yelling in the stands and who's out there. And it's West Genesee is truly unique, and I think it's a godsend for our community. I mean, just speak
it is,
on that.
and so just so everybody knows, if you sign up tonight, you go on your phone, you go to runsignup.com, and you just search WG Wrestling 50-55K. You can sign up for just $20 today. After today, it'll go up to $30. So if you want to get that $10 savings, today's the day to do it.
And that's the beautiful thing about it. And we'll put the links up on the Wake Up Calls Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm sure the Wildcat will share it. But once again, if you register today for the 50-55K, you're going to get it for $20 instead of $30. And it's the importance of doing that, being able to jump off with this. And speaking of jump off, Heather, I know you've been a trooper with this, but I know that you said speak a little bit. So thank you so much. We're going to bring Griffin on now, and we're going to roll reverse here. We're going to keep you. We're going to keep you around, Jane.
Okay.
We're keeping you. We'll bring Griffin on here. So thank you to Heather once again. Yes. Well, and that's the thing is, it's like you're talking to a broadcaster that wears his heart on his sleeve. You can't cry because then I started. But it's the reality of it all. It's a special community. And so, Griffin, what can you say about this community at West Genesee and being an alum and obviously wearing it proud on your chest today?
Yeah, both sports and the fight for breast cancer have things that I've done since I was very young, and I've always been a part of. And I always found that with a community like West Genesee, that people are always willing to help. That there's never a shortage of volunteers for things like this, and it really warms my heart to see that even after I leave the program, that people are continuing to do stuff like this.
And to see something like that, I mean, obviously, as an alum of the program, when you see money being raised for, I mean, in your case, two things that you care about, like you said. The money's going back to West Genesee Wrestling, and then it's going to the Carol M. Baldwin Foundation. To know that there's people in the community that care equally about both, to be able to do this 50-50 and say, hey, whatever we raise, we're giving half of it back to what you used to do, and then half of it back to, obviously, someone that you love and you care about in a foundation that represents the belief that we can find an end to breast cancer, that we can find hope for everybody, just what that means to you.
I think that obviously breast cancer is something that affects everyone. Whether it's your immediate family or your extended family, everyone has somebody that they know that's been affected by breast cancer. And it's great to be able to play sports because I'm a healthy young man, and for some people they don't get to do what they love because they're sick and they're affected by this horrible sickness. And I think that it's great that not only are some kids getting to get some new shoes or get a new mat or be able to go to a traveling tournament, but it's also supporting people who are very ill.
What can you say about Mom? Is she truly the loudest when she's out there?
A lot of the time we'd be watching film at home that she had taken, and I'd be trying to see what the ref was, the referee was signaling for points, or what my coach was saying to me. And almost every time I couldn't tell what the ref was doing or what my coach was saying because my mom was screaming so loud that her phone was shaking and I couldn't see anything that was going on. So.
Mom, what do you think about going back and watching film and knowing that you've doctored that film a little bit? You kind of...
Listen, I'm a passionate fan.
You should
and
be.
it's always positive cheering.
Yeah.
I never say a bad word about anyone. It's always positive. It's loud.
Yeah.
I have a loud voice.
That's okay.
And you get caught up. Wrestling's hard not to yell because it's so emotional and
Yeah.
someone's out there mauling your son, so you're
So there's a lot of siblings in this Baldwin family.
Mm-hmm.
Can we go down the line?
Sure.
How would you describe each of your siblings? Say their name and then maybe a word or two to adequately describe them.
Let me check my phone and see my Venmo who paid me the most this week, and I'll go down the line.
Yeah, see who paid you today.
Well, everyone knows Alec. He's the oldest.
Yeah.
We call him Xander, so we don't call him Alec.
Okay.
His name to us is Xander.
Okay.
Alexander.
Yeah.
So we call him Xander. But my brother Xander, he, the oldest, he's living a different life right now. He has very young children.
Yeah.
He has babies and toddlers at the moment, little toddlers. So he's got 4 kids under kindergarten in his world.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my sister has grandchildren older than his children. So he's living a different life right now. He's busy and working, and he's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
He's a little intense, as some people know.
Yeah.
Daniel lives locally. He lives up north of the lake. Daniel lives in not Phoenix, Cleveland. I knew it was some city from somewhere.
Yeah.
Cleveland. And he's got his 2 young girls. He's great. He's working against the fight against addiction and those type of things. And he's always a lot of fun.
Yeah.
He's recently lost a bunch of weight, and he's going to be doing running with the bulls this summer in Spain.
Oh, nice.
My brother Daniel.
I have family in Spain. I hope he enjoys himself.
Well, my brother Alex's wife is from Spain too, so he's going to visit with her brother and her
What part
parents.
of Spain?
She's from Madrid.
Oh, okay.
Just outside of Madrid.
Yeah, that's my family's outside of there as well.
Oh, nice.
So,
Yeah, her name's Ilaria, and he's going to go visit with. So that happened. I'm like, you're going to see Ilaria's family? He's like, oh yeah, I'm definitely going to hook up with her brother. So he's doing that. Billy's great. He just recently finished a series on Netflix up in Toronto. So he'll be back this summer, which we're excited about because we get to see more of him when he's in Toronto. His family lives out in California. He's got 3 beautiful kids.
Yeah.
He's fun. He's my favorite. He's my favorite.
Billy's the favorite.
Everybody knows that. Everyone. So I don't have to fake it. Nah.
Yeah. Well, everybody's got a favorite. You can't say you love them all equally.
No.
We all have favorites.
No. And if
I'm
you
a
ask,
favorite child.
Yeah. And if you asked anyone who knows me, they would say, Billy. Like, come on. Yeah, he's my favorite.
Okay.
And then there's Steven, who's awesome too. He's great. He's my younger brother. He's, the father-in-law of you-know-who now. So that's a little crazy. That's otherworld crazy that we've all been just recently introduced to. So.
Yeah, share that for everybody that doesn't know.
Well, so Steven at Easter, I don't think about it, honest to God. And he said, my son-in-law, like in conversation about Justin Bieber, he said, my son-in-law, and I'm like who's son-in-law? Like, I didn't get the connection for a second. I'm like, oh my God, you're his father-in-law. Like, oh
Justin Bieber,
Yeah.
who I met. He came. So when I used to work at what ESPN used to be 1260, when I was on James Street, they said there's this kid coming in at 4 o'clock. Name's Justin Bieber. He's 14. He's going to sing for us. So why don't if you guys want to come to the conference room, you can come over there. And I never saw Never Say Never, but apparently the footage. So the camera was here, and I was on this side, and we were all shooting this way. So he was by himself, and one of the guys I work with was on the other side. That footage is in the movie, I guess. And we were just sitting in this tight little room.
Oh, wow.
And I remember the guitar was as big as he was. He had a mushroom haircut. And he sang, I think, Baby on the guitar. And he said, I'm deciding between Justin Timberlake and Usher. And I was like, is there another Justin Timberlake and Usher? I mean, like, this kid can't be serious. Like, he's like, oh, I don't know who I'm going to work with. I left there. I went to work for ESPN 1080 in Orlando. Within a month of me being down there, kid blew up, cardboard cutouts, sold out concerts everywhere. And we did that thing where, like, at the end, it's like, oh, if you want to get an autograph. And I said, whatever, what's it going to hurt? So I still have this mint condition autograph from Justin Bieber that I'm like, wow, I should really sell this. So maybe that could be a gift to Steven or something like that.
It's a different experience for our family, really. Yeah. We've seen a lot of movie premiere stuff, but the music industry is very different.
What does he think about it?
What does he think, Justin?
What does he think about Justin?
What does who think about Justin?
Steven.
Oh my God, you know what? Steven's a Christian. He's a true blue Christian man.
Yeah.
And he loves him. He wants him to be healthy. and well, and so he's had a little bit of a rough patch, which he admits to himself lately. So my brother he's married to his daughter, so he wants him to be awesome and healthy and strong, and so that's what he cares about. We're a little, thank God we're a little used to the whole like ridiculousness of it all, but this is a different level for real. All of us were like, oh wow.
Yeah.
These young girl fans are nuts.
The Beliebers or whatever the heck. It's crazy, right?
Yeah, they're crazy. Love them all.
Yeah.
Hashtag
you love
whatever.
them all.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's a little silly. I mean, I just had a girl. I texted my niece and said, a little girl came up to me at Bring Your Child to Work Day.
Yeah.
Her mom's a teacher with me. I work in school. And she says, there she is. And they ran over to me, and I thought, oh, maybe she wants to be a physical therapist when she grows up, because I'm an idiot. So I crouched down and take a picture with this little girl. She's like 9.
Yeah.
And then she still goes, I can't believe I just got my picture with Justin Bieber's aunt. I'm like, really? Oh, I'm so sad.
Yeah.
But I sent that picture to my niece, and she showed it to her husband, and now that girl's like off the charts, flipping out. She hasn't slept in 3 days.
Because she knows that Justin saw her picture.
And said she was cute, and she freaked out.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh my gosh. But I really thought she was like running down a hall. There she is. I'm thinking, wow, take your kid to work day. This is really cool.
Yeah.
Right.
You should believe that. Just stay with that.
I wanted to stay with that, but my niece said, future PT, ... not.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. You got to talk to Steven about Celebrity Mole. I loved when he was on that show.
You did?
I like Celebrity Mole. He got voted off so quick both times, but I wanted him to win.
He wasn't willing to go the distance.
I wanted him to win.
That show was gross.
It was such a crazy show, but it was like before Big Brother and all that other stuff.
Yeah, but the food stuff was gross, or putting in a tank of worms, or, it was too gross.
It was.
We knew he didn't have a chance. I thought he was going to win The Apprentice. I thought he was going to win that, because he could have that.
That's anybody's game.
Anybody. And he's Slick Willie. I thought he could have done it. But not the Mole with gross things.
Not the Mole. No. It was a different show, Celebrity Mole.
For sure.
Yeah. So, the family. Did we name everybody? We get to everybody?
My sister
We
Beth,
missed your sister.
who, by the way, is the best. The girls are the best part of the whole family.
Yeah.
I have to plug that because no one else says it.
So, Billy's your favorite, but the girls are the best.
Yes, 100%.
All right.
Without a doubt. Yeah. We make the wheels go round, honey.
You probably keep everything going.
Of course.
Who wins fights growing up?
For every appearance my brothers make, my sister's done 5,000 miles of legwork to get that to happen.
Yeah.
They walk out and get all the accolades, but my sister's done everything. Got their flights and got their this and that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got to shout you and Beth out.
Mostly Beth for the fun.
Mostly
She's
Beth.
the woman.
Okay.
She hooked up with Heather already. The two of them are besties.
Yeah. So that's
those
what we
two
have to
chatted. Well, I mean, they chatted. They got together.
So,
she's good.
Griffin, what do you think about being a part of this family of many different faces, different personalities? You're now connected to Justin Bieber, and this is an interesting life for you. So we're here in Central New York. Apparently The Simpsons just brought us up on their show. They made a song about upstate New York, but I don't think it was nice. So we're going to have to talk to The Simpsons about that. They work for Disney now. They're supposed to be nicer. But, what do you think about being a part of this family that at the top of it, obviously, Grandma's holding it down?
It's definitely been interesting growing up around this family. I think a lot of people, they see what goes on, on the outside, but not on the inside. But it's definitely comes from a place of love with our family. I think I'm in a very good position where not only do I have two exceptional parents, I also get to understand that just because, you're famous or you're wealthy, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be happy or you're going to have a productive life. So I think my parents have really instilled those morals in me, and I want to become the person that I want to be, not through my family, but through myself.
And your mother has given a lot of credit to her siblings. Can we give some credit to Mom? What would you like to say about Mom while she's here?
I could never pay her back. Even if, tomorrow I spent the rest of my life trying to pay her back for what she's done. She's just provided the best possible start to my life that I could have asked for.
Simple as that.
Yeah, I can't put in any other words other than that. I can't thank both of my parents enough. They've worked so hard to provide me with everything that I need and the guidance that I need for the rest of my life.
And can we shout out Dad since he's not sitting with us right now?
Thank you, Dad. Yeah, you worked hard my whole life, and I've watched him, break his back for me and anything I needed for sports. I never had to ask twice, so thank you so much, Dad.
Who is your favorite uncle? I'm going to put you on the spot.
I would have to say Billy. I saw him the most. He always came
So
to
you see what you've done to the generation after you?
He's the farthest away, but has spent the most time with my kids.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I just haven't been able to spend a lot of time with the rest of them just because they're so incredibly busy. But Billy, loves making time to come here, so I think that's why we're the closest with him.
Billy's the wrestling connection.
Yeah.
Him and I text pretty regularly about wrestling. We love it.
And what can you say about, kind of making it full circle, knowing that the Carol M. Baldwin Foundation and West Genesee Wrestling are being helped by this, just what it means to you to be an alum and to know that that's always going to be a part of your life?
Yeah,
both of the things.
It's something that it's hard to take in just because it's like it's something that we're two separate things that are now merging that were so impactful for my life. Just seeing the way that breast cancer affects people, and just being a little kid at galas and walking around and talking to people who have really truly incredible stories, and then meeting so many different people in the wrestling community. To have them, work so fluidly at an event like this, it's really beautiful to see.
So please make sure you can give. Please register. If you do it through us, it's going to be $20, and it's $30 after that for the 50-50 5K. And so for Griffin Sasso and Jane Baldwin-Sasso, thank you so much to the both of you, not only for West Genesee Wrestling, but for the Carol M. Baldwin Foundation. And it's truly a pleasure. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
Thank
you very much.
Griffin.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Give them a round of applause as well. We'll be back with more with us, West Genesee Wrestling, and my best to Mom.
I will tell her.
And to everybody else fighting the good fight.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is a wake-up call, Fast Break.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
We're back here with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, live on location at West Genesee's home that we like to have here every month, which is with the Wildcat Sports Pub. The Wildcat Sports Pub is on 3680 Milton Avenue in Camillus, New York. And thanks to Danny and Heather Tome and the entire team here, we have the opportunity to have West Genesee showcase with players and coaches and special events every single month, brought to you by Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. So we have Colin McAvan on my one side here, and then we have Scott Fura as well as Nate Wade, and we're happy to have each of the gentlemen here. We're going to have a nice little roundtable discussion about wrestling. And Scott, I'm going to start with you. Just what you could say about being a part of this team and just why it matters to you.
Really, it just means everything. The environment is fantastic. Everybody's extremely supportive, not just of me, but all of my teammates as well. I mean, everything, like from working on a wrestling move or like getting your mindset correct, everyone's there for you. And
what can you, I mean, and obviously, wrestling for you and just what you've been able to do. I mean, Shaquem Griffin, somebody who played at UCF, and I'm sure you're familiar with, and just what he was able to do and making it to the NFL and everything. I mean, what can you say about kind of pulling inspiration?
He's definitely one of my biggest inspirations, seeing him coming from the UCF, it's just amazing to see him coming from a football background and making it to the pros.
Yeah.
Huge inspiration because it shows me that I'm able to do that as well. Work on my dreams and working to become maybe in the pros someday for anything. It's huge inspiration. Work hard really does pay off.
And what can you say about your teammates? Have they always just uplifted you as well?
Every single day, just from laughs to working together hard, sweating, bleeding. Everyone's working hard together as a big team.
Nate, I'm going to you on this one. I know your brother Cole. What can you say about Cole? Be nice. I'm sure he'll watch.
Cole's big.
Cole's big.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's a diehard football player.
Yeah.
And he does wrestling. Wrestling helps him with everything he's done in football.
Yeah.
And he likes wrestling, but football's his thing.
So what can you say about your side of it? Wrestling obviously being a thing for you. If you and Cole are going up against each other right now, are you beating him? Is he beating you? Is it even?
Well,
what would you say?
Cole's size is definitely going to beat me, but, if he was the same size as me, I'd destroy him.
Okay. So you'll get there. You're eventually going to get there. Is that fair to say? You'll beat him at some point.
Yeah, I'll definitely never get as big as him, but
Okay.
I'll get bigger, and I can beat him then.
All right, Colin, you have, and I know your brother Chandler, so what can you say about going up against Is Chandler still? Is he with us? Is he out there in the crowd? We don't know. He could be. I just saw him a little while ago. So what do you think about Chandler? How would you describe your older brother?
He's pretty big, I guess. He's very
so big
tall.
seems to be the word.
He's huge.
He's big. Yeah. I mean, Chandler is a big guy.
He is a big guy.
Plays a lot of different sports. What's his best sport in your opinion?
Football.
By far?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you ever give him the wrestling bout? Did you ever try it out in the house?
No.
No?
No. Definitely not.
So you don't think you're going to win that one either?
No.
There's no sneak attacks or anything? Weak spots? You got to know pressure points and stuff.
Well, if I touch him, he'll beat me up. So I don't want to die.
You don't want to die. All right, fair enough. What can you say about this team and what this team has meant to you and this year's wrestling team?
It means a lot. The teammates are pretty good. We joke around and everything, but then when we're on the mat, it's pretty serious. And when you're out there wrestling, they're all they get up on their feet and they cheer you on. And the practices very hard, and they push you to your limits. Even though during practice we laugh a lot, but we work hard.
What's harder, in your opinion? Those that you practice against at West Jenny or the people that you go up against?
Well, it depends who I wrestle with in practice. Devin Earl, I wrestle with him.
Is he tough on you?
Yeah.
He brings it?
Yeah.
Is he your biggest competition, in your opinion?
Probably.
Okay. How's he made you better?
He plays 6 at the state tournament, and he just works hard. He drills hard. He doesn't stop at all. And, he takes no breaks.
Nate, I'm going to ask you, who kind of pushes you the most in practice?
I have my main partner, Brady, but I also just have it in the back of my head that I need to keep going harder and do more than what I think is right.
Yeah.
And it's also kind of the atmosphere, and just keep going.
What can you say about this year's team?
We had some good returners, but we definitely lost a few, which hurt us. But we have young people that are going to come up and try to do their best and fill in the gaps that we lost.
Scott, going to you on this one. Who pushes you in practice?
Who pushes me in practice? Definitely Coach McAvan and Coach Berkey.
Okay.
And then just all my teammates all around, always making me do better.
And what can you say about kind of the environment of this year's team? You've heard your teammates talk about it a little bit. How would you describe it?
Just the environment's inspirational, hardworking, exciting. I know everyone's there for each other. Everyone's working hard.
We had Coach on. I'm going to put Coach on the hot seat in a way. I'm going to ask each of you what you think of Coach, how you would describe him. So how would you describe Brian McAvan?
Definitely pushes us. Some of us to our limits. Most of us to our limits, definitely. Funny guy. So pretty cool.
All right, Nate, what would you say about Coach?
He definitely works in all the elements. He's funny. He can be hard on you, serious, relaxed. Puts it all together into one practice.
So he's a little bit of everything, every practice.
Yeah.
Colin, what would you say? And I guess, for you it's twofold because, you have to see him at family gatherings and whatnot.
Yeah, he's pretty funny, I guess, and he works us all pretty hard, to our limits, like he said. And when I see him around, he always talks about wrestling, he's nonstop just wrestling.
The West Genesee community, we've talked about it before, Colin. I'm going to stay with you on this. What can you say about the community, the people, not just on the team, but classmates, parents, alumni? It seems to be a very close-knit and caring community from what I've taken from it the last couple of years. How would you describe it?
Pretty good. Everybody cheers, like I said, like in the crowd, especially Jane Sasso. You just hear her screaming nonstop in the background. And like the teammates, like I said, they're pretty good. They get all on their feet. And then the alumni really supports us as well. And they contribute with all of our tournaments, going pretty far for our tournaments and everything.
Nate, what would you say about the community of West Genesee?
Doesn't get the most support out of the whole district, but gets some support, and the support's nice that we get. And we have some super fans out there that definitely help us out.
When you look at kind of building this up and being a Wildcat, just what it means to you for the people that do show up, the alumni that do come out, and obviously the families that are there.
It's definitely meaningful because it shows they care and they're there to support you. It's another driving factor when you're out there.
Scott, what would you say about the West Genesee community?
I think the community is awesome for our wrestling team. Everyone's very supportive, comes out every night for our matches and cheers us on. Awesome.
The last piece of this is obviously to wrap up with what we've been talking about, the 50-55K. And I'm going to stay with you, Scott, for this. To have this 50-55K, to know that the West Genesee community wants to get behind it, the alumni want to get behind it, the Carol M. Baldwin Foundation is behind it. You're giving back to, obviously, your team, and you're giving back to cancer research and hopefully finding a cure and an end for something that's affected so many people. What does this race mean to you?
I mean, it means so much. You know, being able to find a cure for cancer would be a huge, like one of the largest steps ever. And, you know, just having our community showing that they truly do care about wrestling is a huge thing and making us want to keep driving forward.
There's different walk runs out there and whatnot. Why should they register for this one?
I mean, it's here to support us all. You know, we're out here doing our best. So, I mean, having the community do all these walks and runs is just a huge thing, showing us they do care.
Nate, what can you say about the 50-55K and what you appreciate about its connection?
I think it's really nice that we get a chance to support a cause like that and try to contribute to finding a cure. And it's also nice that it comes back around and helps everybody around here.
So why should people do it? If they could do any event this summer, why should they make sure on July 27th that they're at Gilly Lake?
Helps like the local community and sports teams here, and it also helps like the bigger, broader cause of like a global thing. So it helps both big and small things.
Fair enough. And Colin, for you, same question to kind of wrap up with our event here at the Wildcat, just what it means to you to have the 50-55K and why it's important to do something like this, not only for wrestling, but also for the Carol M. Baldwin Foundation.
I think it's amazing how the whole entire community comes together and just for a great cause for cancer research and the wrestling team. And you also get to lose weight for the next season.
Something helpful.
Yeah.
Why should they come out and make sure that they're there on the 27th of July?
It would be fun. You get to meet the team, I guess, and have a lot of fun and communicate with everybody and come all together.
That from Colin McAvan as well as Nate Wade and Scott Fura. Myself, Dan Tortora. We're always here every single month in West Genesee. Gentlemen, thank you. And can we give them a round of applause? Can we show them some love here for coming out here and doing this? This is going to support you. It's going to support the future of West Genesee wrestling and obviously a great foundation with Carol M. Baldwin. So thank you to Scott, thank you to Nate, thank you to Colin, and thank you all for being here. And make sure you get your tickets. We'll put the link on Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, Twitter at Call DT, and Instagram at WakeUpCall_DT. We'll also make sure to put it on WakeUpCallDT.com. So support a great cause on Saturday, July 27th. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.